Julianne Brienza is a passionate, inspiring, and unconventional arts leader and a community builder. She is a founder of Capital Fringe, which has been leading the award-winning and has been, should I say, leading the award-winning organization since it started in 2005. She's guided Capital Fringe's vision, its evolution, its growth, and its community development. Under her leadership, Capital Fringe has won numerous awards, including 2 Mayor's Awards and the Washington Business Journal's Nonprofit of the Year. Julianne herself is a recipient of the Mayor's Arts Award for Visionary Leadership. She was born and raised in Dillon, Montana, and is a graduate of Viterbo? Am I saying it right? Viterbo University?
It's Viterbo.
Viterbo University in La Crosse, Wisconsin. She moved to DC in 2003, and prior to founding Capital Fringe, she managed Cultural DC's Flashpoint project. And also while at Cultural DC, Julianne started the Mead Theater Lab program, which is an intensive mentorship program for the performing arts that is still in existence today. I came across Julianne at the Building the Music Capital conference a few months back because Capital Fringe is doing amazing things with the music scene here in town. So listeners, it is with great pleasure that I introduce Julianne Brienza.
Hello. All right, we're going to get to some of the artists that I've chosen, DC artists that I've chosen to play. Is that right?
We're gonna. I want you to share, but first I want to get to know you.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Can we talk to you first? Is that okay?
To the second thing. I'm so sorry. I was so ready to play the music.
That's
yes.
cool. We're gonna do it.
Let's talk it out.
Talk about you first. Let's get to know you. So
okay.
Now you are. Tell us about Capital Fringe and how did you get tied into that, and tell us how that began.
Okay. Well, I moved here in December of 2003 to work for Cultural DC, and it was really dead. It was a lot of gray suits. I wondered where the young people were with like keys on their belts. And I'd lived in Philadelphia. For 3 years before I came here, and they had a Fringe festival, and it was really a great time where everybody got together very, unofficially to just be a community and know each other. And I thought that was what was missing, and so a group of us sort of got together and muscled the first Capital Fringe Festival in 2006. And so
When you say muscled, what does that mean?
I mean, like using physical muscles.
Like you forced this to happen. You were carrying the load on your back?
Well, it was a pretty big undertaking for all of us that were involved at that time. Right when we started, it takes a lot of money. You have money to do this, and none of us were really independently wealthy. So I think within our first year, our budget was about $300,000, and that was getting grants for something that had not existed before, kind of on a hope and a prayer, and making it happen. And then, the first year we had 96 groups in the festival. That's a, pretty...
Holy smokes.
We had thought it would be awesome if we had 50.
Now, this is a film festival, right? Or
no.
It's
a live performing arts festival. So
performing arts. Okay.
It's dance, it's puppetry, it's theater, and then really when we got into 2009 was where we really started inserting music.
And how has the music become a part of Capital Fringe?
We first started just doing it during the summer festival, the Fringe Festival in July, and we had a tent that we put up at the time, and so we'd really just offer free concerts, and it was just awesome. It was so great. We'd have like the old theater guys being like, "I've never seen anything like this before," and I'd be like, "No, because you're not going to the Velvet Lounge or DC9 at midnight on a Tuesday or something." So. And then it's just really, since 2009, we've just continued to sort of increase how we present DC musicians. And we really do try to focus on DC musicians. And, and a lot of it is that we pay them.
Yeah.
Or we, set up a revenue model that isn't just about, bar sales and all of that, which is typical in the industry.
Wow. And so now how do you guys find, if there's like musicians listening or something, how do you find the talent, and how does the music side of Capital Fringe work?
It's ever evolving as we continue to sort of flail out into what we will eventually be and then keep evolving. But a lot of the way that we do it is we have curators that do a lot of the curating for us. So Jim Thompson, who's a founding member of GWAR, he does other things too. It was a long time ago, but he's a great guy. He does a lot of music programming for us, and Luke Stewart, who's also in a lot of different bands, does a lot of music curating for us as well.
Got it. And curating meaning they decide who's going to come and play the venue?
Yeah, I mean, we kind of do it as a collaborative effort because it can't be something where, Capital Fringe just has to eat it.
Right.
So that the curator is a paid position, and then typically we'll either do a ticket, and
Sure.
then we'll do some sort of revenue share, or we pay the band a certain amount, and it can also be we pay a band a certain amount and it's totally free, or we pay the band at a certain amount and we do a ticket, and then we get to a certain point if we sold tickets, and we go into a revenue sharing there.
Got it. And now for listeners who've never been to Capitol Fringe, tell us about the venue. Where is it? What is it like?
So we purchased a building at the end of 2014. It was a really big deal. It's still a big deal. So it's the Logan Fringe Art Space. It's at 1358 Florida Avenue Northeast. We're just one block off H Street. So if you've been to the Atlas Performing Arts Center, just come on over one more block.
Nice.
We have a little theater. It's called the Trinidad Theater. You can fit in about 200 people in there, and we do a variety of things. We got a full service bar. That's open and you can drink.
Wow. And how many nights a week is the music there is?
We have done a lot of different things since we first opened. Right now, we're really just kind of an event space. We are going to be doing a big renovation in October. We're going to be closing for a year and doing a huge renovation that will actually get us a really awesome music venue and theater venue and full restaurant kitchen when we're done.
Wow.
But right now, when we first opened, we were opened all the time, but we got to build up ourselves a little bit more till we can do that and have proper equipment and all that stuff. So we're on the track. We're on the track to get there.
Now, with everything going on with Capitol Fringe, you've got a lot going on, clearly. But when you do get some free time, tell us about that side of Julianne. What do you do with yourself when you're off?
Well, I will just be really honest. I don't really have a lot of free time, but which is just the career things I've chosen to do. I often bite off more than I can chew, but I really do love feeling inspired to see the performing arts, and so I love going to the 930 Club. I love going to U Street Music Hall. I love seeing shows. Theater, I love doing that. I also really love to travel. Actually, I found that with my current endeavors, it's often just I get out of town, just to really feel like I'm not in my zone of like, I've got to work this angle in this environment so I can get this thing to make something better. But yeah, I don't know. I really love live performance as a way that humans can communicate to each other in a way that you can't really do in any other way. And so I just really like to take that in. So I do that personally and professionally.
Now, what about funniest moments in what you've been doing with Capitol Fringe? What comes to mind? Funniest moments.
Funniest moments. Well, one that may be funny right now. So I guess it was like in May. I don't know. I was sort of stressed out, so I dyed my hair. I dye my hair a lot, but I totally like went white blonde. And I didn't really think much of it because I've had my hair that color before. But people really did not recognize me, and it was awesome.
Say more about that. It was awesome.
Well,
because why?
Well, sometimes when I'm in certain situations, I have to like talk to a lot of people, and sometimes you might not want to. And so I did get in sort of the habit of wearing like sunglasses, so I didn't but that didn't really work. But the hair dye to blonde, like even on Sunday night, I was at Arena stage seeing a show, and a guy that I know like walked right by me, did not recognize me at all, and I was like, wow, this is still going on.
Yeah. Wow.
So it's been
how long now? How long has the hair been blonde?
Since May, and I don't know what I'm doing with my hair. It's not really, but it's been really funny. I think it's probably been funny for me to chuckle about it, and maybe some of my staff that I get to tell them stories about. Oh my God, that person just walked by me.
What about a time that you tried and failed? What's an example of that one?
Like all the time. I mean, I really love failure, which is probably not a normal response. But I actually think if you get failure, it means that you're getting closer to actually getting to something real. So I don't know. I fail all the time. I fail at like using my computer. I've been having a lot of issues with my computer that has made my work a little bit slower recently. So I apologize if you haven't heard from me. You know, I don't. That's. I feel like I don't have like a big like I fell down and I failed, but like
Got it.
I really do fail all the time. I mean, what I'm doing right now. I mean, I'm trying to do this huge renovation on our building, and it's a lot of money to do it. I mean, to do the renovation is going to be about 2.7 million. And while I have good stats and all that stuff, and the trajectory seems logical and everything, but it could totally fail. But I believe in the DC arts community, so I don't think it will totally,
Got it.
But it might.
Yeah. Well, and so then, in a time when you succeeded, then big success moment. You're trying and maybe not trying and failing, but so what about succeeding? What comes to mind?
I really feel success when people come to stuff at Fringe and they're just hanging out and it's not fancy and it's all different types of people and they get to talk to each other and they get to see things that they normally wouldn't see. Like the other night at the space there was that concert at the 930 Club for the guy who died from the Urban Verbs, and they all came over to the space afterwards to look at Bill Worrell has an art exhibit. Bill Worrell is the founder of DC Space and then a co-founder of the 930 Club. He's also a local artist, and he has his first visual art show in our space. So they all came over. So there's a bunch of old dudes, like, living it up, talking about the times. And then, and then we got, loading in, a birthday party for, a local theater artist. And just, watching people kind of exchange looks and, who are you? Well, this is my space. Well, what are you doing here now? And then, the, kind of people coming together, that's a success to me. I like stuff
awesome.
like that.
And I love stories like that too. It's great when it's amazing how arts can bring the community together. It really does. Now, what's one piece of advice that you would offer?
To who? To about what?
To the DC community in general. If you had one piece of advice, this is my favorite last question for the guest. What's one piece of advice you would offer?
I think, we're at a time where our nation is just really it's crazy times, right? I think it's really important to and I think no matter where you're at, just pay attention to your neighbors, be kind to your neighbors, realize that you are in a community and you can make an impact in your community.
Yeah.
And I think to really have that be your start position versus getting overly obsessed with everything that's national all the time. Because if we really just start working at stuff that we can touch and we can look at our neighbors in the eyes and say something nice to them and invite them to do something, that's going to really create change. So that's my advice.